Hi, pile 3. This is the never-ending pick-a-pile. We're going to look at some crystals, some crystal cards. We're going to get a shorter outlook. Look at some blocks and see what energies you're going through. Okay, so let's get started. I hope everything is doing well with you. I'm going to mix my hands, and then the energy, they fly out, and then I'll read them over here. What snowflake, obsidian, and protection. You might be healing something, or you're going to be around healing aspects. You're going to have a nice energy. It's a very nice outcome, whatever the outcome is for you. Let's see. Okay, they want to talk already. All right, we have a rose quartz. Open up your heart. So that's similar. You got 3 rose quartz right there with that. See. That's past, present. Alright, you have find peace within, which is a nice energy. You have pyrite, let the money flow in. You have smoky quartz, let something go. And then clear the clutter. So you could be, just doing that. That's a nice energy, again, to have. As you're clearing out matters of the heart, here, with the 2 great aventurines. You halt yourself. You go to a certain point and then you pull back. And then you disperse and then slowly look at something else. And I think in a different perspective. Blue Lace Agate is on the bottom of the deck. And that's Find Your Calm. Sorry, I have green paint on me. I was painting things. So it's healing. I went right into a reading. So those that know me know I paint. You have a clear quartz, getting crystal clear about something. 2 had similar energies if you want to look back, but remember I said don't switch piles. If you had picked 3, then you would pick 3. You're more than welcome to observe 1 and 2, don't get me wrong, but you really should keep the same energy. Let's see what the outside energy is. Blue Lace Agate, find your calm, and I think people are noticing that's what you're doing. You're a healer in energy. Meaning your positive side, lightens people up, this you're very kind, and just this also reminds you to be kind to yourself. It's a nice energy to have right there. Very nice energy. Okay. Let's see why the Blue Lace Agate is there. Find your calm. What are they trying to find for their greatest good, and what would be calming to them? Hold. Well, you have the High Priestess. Something that, a need to express. You know something and you want to express it. That you just, maybe the person that you're dealing with doesn't have the right way to say it, Hold. Yeah. You have the 9 of Wands here, something you're working on very hard, and it has to do with the 5 of Cups as a crown thought. It's bringing something together, it could be a relationship, a union, don't worry about it. It's something that you worked on. You got the Queen of Swords. You might have been rigid, or you thought you were rigid bringing this together. You thought you were, you're trying to avoid it maybe, protect it here. To avoid confrontation right here. Or always ready for it too, with the Queen of Swords energy there. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. You got Aries, Leo, Sag. You have Taurus. Ace of Pentacles. You also have a new beginning with something in a relationship. You know, and you're worried about sneakiness. Don't do that. Close that out. You're worried about sneakiness. Let's close that out. Why is the Ace of Pentacles here? Why is the Ace of Pentacles so never ending? Well, you have the Chariot. You know, it could be Cancer, Scorpio energy. There was a union. It was very clear to you, this union. You know, you got the Six of Wands. So there's a victory in something that you chose to protect or cut off. There was a victory to it. There was a victory in something that you changed. Alright, you got the Arcana of the Chariot, which is master movement in something. Could be dealing with a Cancer. Dear energy with the Pentacles is bringing me to very fast too. Very fast communication that you're waiting on something. You're thinking about something with the Five of Cups over there. Something was cut off. Yeah, there was another option there. There's the King and Queen of Swords. There was another option there. You know, this is clarity. This is justice. This, you know, there was justice in a union, or there was something that was overprotective in the way that you strategized. I don't know how well this is coming out, but there's a resting energy here with a deep knowing about movements from the past, because, you know, someone might not acknowledge you and just walk right past you, and you'll miss an opportunity. Is that right? You'll miss an opportunity. Don't let opportunities pass you right up. You have a wish. You know, you got the Queen of Wands upside down. You got the Nine of Pentacles, doing it yourself. You know, release the grip here. There's a hard grip there. Seven of Swords to the negative. You know, quite clear. There's a hard grip. This could be who you're dealing with. You know, or trying to express things and options to get you triggered. So be careful of triggers, okay? Be careful of triggers. And they know, you know, that's where I think that the seed comes in. It's a triggering thing that you have to look at. Excuse the light, it goes on, and it goes light, it goes brighter. It's an older model, but I like it. Let's look at some crystal cards real quick. This union holds what energy? Well, we got a gate. It holds truth, Uknight, live in the now. And I don't read upside down with these. Recall your dreams. You know, you could be working things out on your sleep. This person's sleeping a lot. You know, when they shut down almost. Why is that? Why is there a shutting down of energy? Oh, Black Knight. Set strong boundaries. There's a shutting down of an energy around you because it's a strong boundary and everything happens for a reason. Smaller aspect. Current energies for pile 3, never ending pick a pile. Current energies, crystal clear quartz. Well, yeah, the Queen of Wands. Crown thought. You know, this person knows what they're doing. They're energetic. You know, they're strong, they're courageous, they're passionate, they're funny, they're independent, they're confident, optimistic, feisty, and they like to help others. Now, there's something that you're letting go in the past. You know, it could have been with emotions, it could have been in an ex, you know, or it could have been a karma, you know, partner, or a twin flame, or something like that. Overcoming adversity and improving finances, health, and improvement being expected and accepted. Forgiveness, positive change. Good news, letters, phone calls, career, cheerful, fun, optimistic, bright ideas, energetic, creative, competent, and intelligent. So there's something that you have to put into motion, and it might have to do with someone from your past. hmm It's giving you strength. You walked away several times because you were hurt. You had no choice. You thought about it for too long. And you knew you weren't alone in this, and it was a victory that you moved forward. So you weren't alone, and it was a victory that you moved forward with. Victory, award, success, winning, good news, being a leader, confidence, recognition, self-esteem, and fame. A victory of some sort, and knowing that there's a victory. Why the boundaries? Why the boundaries here in crystal formation? Why the boundaries here? The protection. Well, pulling yourself together over the worst, surviving disaster, being saved, melodrama, refusing to let go, denial, relapse, despair. That's something that, maybe the energies are surrounding you, and maybe you didn't go towards it. Sorry about that. Excuse me. I should have turned it off, guys. I apologize. So where were we? There's something that you didn't do that was a victory. You halted yourself in something. Yeah, in communication, maybe there was communication and you were getting triggered, so you just dismissed yourself politely and moved forward. Yeah, you didn't want to get into the melodrama of it, the Five of Cups energy. That was the victory, and you used your judgment to move forward. Strength, you gained strength right there. You stopped it right before it started because you're peeking at it. Little peaks of energy that will try to work its way in, and it's a self-sabotaging energy, so be careful there. Yeah, you don't want to wait for something. You feel trapped in something and you're worried about it, and you just want to knock that off. You want to forget about it. You just want it done quickly. You feel there's a resolution quickly, but you're impatient with it. Don't worry, you'll have justice, or there will be justice in the movement. There will be justice in the strength, and there'll be justice in the confidence that you gain from one knowing what not to do. Knight of Cups. Don't move or react, overreact. Don't put the melodrama in a situation. There was a message about that. Don't worry, they know you're stressed, star energy. They know that you feel that something is further away than you think it is, and you're stressed about that. It comes with responsibility, something that you're waiting on. Yeah, you want it fast moving, and it's not. Things are stagnant. But the energy's there, so it's like impatience on the board. As a leader, you want to show patience. You don't want to show impatience. Especially with you got the Emperor and the Queen of Wands on the board. Same suit, masculine energy and feminine energy. Both, at play here. Let's see what the blocks are. There's something that you're slowing down with, that you're coming to a halt with. I think you realize this in this clarity that you're gaining here, and the Stardust energy and why that protection was there. Yeah, your movement page about yourself. Page is a message. And that's about your ambitions. Yeah, good news, letters are coming forward. It's an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. It's illumination, it's intuition, it's inner power. Feeling more like yourself with the Queen of Wands energy we just read. There's something that you've been holding and not saying anything, and there's a perception that you don't like or you don't think it's clear. It could be an illusion, and you see right through it. Yeah, King of Swords, full clarity. Power, leader, structure, intellectual, logical, authority matters. Cool, discerning, honest, ethics, morals, self-discipline, military father. And then we have new beginnings, good news, initiative, passion there. The will, the drive, the inspiration, the potential, the enthusiasm, the confidence, optimism, action, setting goals. So this is what you can look forward to, and I like this energy because it's showing, determination like it says. Alleviating the blocks. Creatively you've done that, creatively alleviating the feeling of lack. Yeah. A Cancer water energy, a balance, a duality, a choice, or a reflection. A partnership or unity, a love, compatibility, proposals, relationships, harmony, romance, marriage, equality, and connection. Master movement. You think if you restrict yourself and change yourself and pull back and really look inside yourself and get clear here with all this quartz, that maybe there'll be a master movement of a unity. Why are you holding your actions on a unity, whether you stay or go, or waiting on what? Is it an illusion? Like I said, with the moon energy here. Try not to worry about that, because that can get obsessive. Let's look at blocks. Why this Chariot? It came out sideways, so it's a delay. There's no direction, stagnation. If it was right set up, it would be success, triumph, willpower. So that's what's being tested, your willpower. And maybe you don't see it. And you don't see the message on how well you let go of things that you had the willpower that you didn't think you could. Right? Let go 22, a decision to let go. And number 8, things that were stagnant and changing and useless in message, There's one more under that. Let's see. Actually, there's 2 more. There's denial and a sense of belonging. In the past, that's been a problem. It's been hard to go through 14 to a 41 to a 45. And it's been hard to get a balance. Maybe you've moved a lot. I'm feeling that. There's something peeking out and I want to see. Something you're listening to. You made an oath to not move in a fast direction. That's congratulations is in order. So a vision, a sense of belonging, letting go of something, and the justice, of the King of Swords, Queen of Swords on the board with master movement. So you could be dealing with somebody that's very intellectual, very ambitious, and then one leads with such passion, so it's like a push pull, halting, chess moves, like that. Individually. 47. High Priestess of Earth. Not willing to let go was hard for you. It was almost, what am I looking for, that word? Codependent. The hyphenate. You were very committed in a movement that you made. You ran it with clarity. The heart matters were already cleared out and put down to rest because it was a head over heart decision that you had to make. You looked at the emotions, you looked at what the outcomes was most likely in that direction, and you slowly said, no, I'm not doing this replay. So you pulled back and you found the clarity to move forward. Now you're committed to something, and I think that's the movement and an idea that you have. It's teaching, learning, knowledge, tradition, guidance, values, blessings. There was obsessive thoughts of commitments. And that's, the daily grind, I think. The hermit energy popped its head out. You were doing things by yourself, a lot by yourself. This is a very prosperous card. It's a very determination. It's a good card to get. Independence, success, financial stability, security, prosperity, wealth, rewards, thriving, business, freedom, contentment, self-discipline. You kept the faith in yourself and your movements. And you stood up for yourself. And you transformed. And you now have options that are more stable for you. You used your judgment upright. You completed a lot of cycles. And that was your wish to do that. So congratulations. That's what I think was in order. There was a movement that was deceitful around you. And I think that you weren't expecting something, but you're going to have something better come to you. Queen of Wands upright again with the strength. Somebody wants to come off of their cup and it's empty. Yeah, you don't want to work on something. There's a Five of Cups energy with it. If you do, things will be revealed. It might be a feeling of a tower. Things will get toxic, Choices that to deal with that toxic is the victory. Even though it's swarming in your head and something's, in movement, you're patiently using knowledge, patiently waiting, patiently growing within oneself right there. Initial success. You don't like disharmony. You don't, you're not a jealous person. You make a choice to love and you stick to it. You're very committed with the hyphenate energy, and that's where the judgment is upright. The judgment card. You got the world card, you got the strength card, you got justice, you got a victory. You got a really good choice that you made, and you got the King, Queen of Swords on the board. You don't feel the need to have blocks. You remove them early on in the reading. I like that. I think this was a great reading. It went on a little long. We got 24:48, so choice to stabilize and change, and also to let go. And that sometimes is the first part of change. So, good job. All right, three. See you soon on the Never Ending.